This week on the TBL podcast, we are talking about how it is not that hard to lose weight. I'm down 25 pounds. As you can see, I've still got a ways to go, but I'm going to tell you exactly how easy it's been, what I've been doing for the last few months, and making sure that you can do it too. And guess what? This video doesn't just simply end with a buy me now message. Nope, we're going to go through the whole process, how easy it was, absolutely free as part of a podcast episode. So stick around. Let's go. Let's start it now. All right, welcome back to the This Baker Life podcast for this week, and this is an exciting one for me because I can give you some good news on my health journey. I have started a health journey as of January 1st, and still doing it today, and it is March the 15th. We are getting close to the 90-day mark in that journey, and while there's still ways to go and I still have lots to do in this journey, there is a lot going on and a lot of positive. So I want to bring that up to you because I want to talk to you about how easy it is. So stick around in this video, okay? Because it actually is easy, and the diet programs are gonna be mad at me for this video because it means you don't need to spend all that money on diets. You really don't. What you do need to do is have a little bit of self-perseverance. You've got to have a little bit of self-control, and that's really it. So we'll talk about that today. And to start off, on January 1st, I was about 245 pounds, about 25 pounds heavier than I am right now. I still have a ways to go. I'm only about 5'8", 5'9". Arguably, I've been measured as both. So who knows which one is exactly correct, but I've gone with 5'8", which is the shorter amount. And I should be somewhere around 185, 190. And I could tell, I was climbing the stairs and it was just hard, nothing terrible. I wasn't like gasping for breath, but it wasn't easy. It didn't come as easy as when I was in my 20s. And not only that, obviously I was eating too much. I was snacking too much. It was just the holidays. Of course, this is a sort of a New Year's resolution, but not really. I tried to make sure I got away from that kind of speak, and I think you should too. It's about health, and it's about getting healthy for your family, for your kids, for yourself, being a little bit more focused on health. And that's the first point I want to make today. If you want to talk about how I lost weight in almost 90 days, 25 pounds down with about 20 more to go. And I'll keep you up to date on this journey as we talk through this podcast and through other topics. But this is the big thing that I think you need to understand. And I want to use that word journey because that is really what it is. And if you want to make it easier on yourself, you have to understand that it's a journey. It's not gonna start with January 1st. Well, it might start with January 1st, but it's not going to end with January 15th. It's not going to end with January 30th or March 30th. This is a journey where I've committed to be healthier. I've got my trusty Apple Watch going. I've got a lot of tracking that I do around this. And I'm going to tell you, it's not calories. It's not calories. So what I decided to do, let me just give you some perspective. About 7 or 8 years ago, I lost about 50 pounds. I was about 250 at that time, got back down to around just under 200. And that was great. Then the pandemic, that's where I put it all back on. But forget about the pandemic. We don't want to talk pandemic on yet another video. The fact of the matter is, I gained weight, gained a lot of it back, gained too much, and was not healthy. Still have lots of work to do. I'm not saying by any means that I'm done, but the ease at which I did this is so important to share with you. And the big thing that you have to remember is that it's a journey. It's a journey. It doesn't begin today and end tomorrow. It begins today and doesn't stop. But the advantage to that is that you can do it a lot easier than if you were to do one of these fad diets where you're calorie restricted and eating 900 calories a day. Don't do that. Don't buy the special foods you don't need to. Don't try to turn yourself keto if you don't want to. I didn't want any of that. I just wanted to be healthier. I did not want to have a process. I did not want to, and I do have a process, but it's my own process, and I'll go through it in a minute, that I think you'd find much easier. I didn't want to get into these fad diets. I did not want to get into, calling it something like, oh, I'm keto. I don't really care what I am. What I am is trying to get healthier. What I am is trying not to have, diseases like heart disease, cancer, and things like that down the road. I'm trying to be here longer for my kids. I'm trying to be healthier for my kids and my family and my wife. I am trying to also be healthier for myself and for my work life and everything, just everything. So in that, there's a process, but it's not the process you would think. And I want you to throw out those diets. I want you to throw Atkins soup diets. There was years ago, there was a cabbage soup diet where all you could eat was cabbage soup. Like, come on. So, first of all, gross, like dry heaves. But second of all, you're not going to be able to stick to that. You need to be able to stick to your health journey. And so that's why I'm not calling this weight loss. I'm calling it a health journey. I want you to do that too. If you're looking for an easier way to do it, then call it a health journey and monitor everything. Throughout this, I'm going to bring up some things on my screen from my Apple Watch that I think are important for you to track as well. Kind of keep an eye on your trends and how that affects your overall health, because I want to really talk about how not only have I lost the 25 pounds so far, but the overall health has drastically improved. And so we'll talk a little bit about what that means. But to do it, it's pretty easy. Okay. The first thing is eat whatever you want. Not how much you want, but eat whatever you want. Stop trying to figure out whether you should eat salad all day for the next week or whether you should cut your calories to 200 just to get a kickstart. Do all of that stuff is not healthy either. What you need to do is make better choices. No question about that. Cheeseburgers every day are not the solution to your problem. I'm sorry. That's what you were looking for. That's not going to be the solution. But making better choices. But the first rule, and if you're like me, you're a snacker. If you're in any weight position that that you need to lose the weight, then you were like me and you snacked. Dinner hour came along, then you snacked. Now, people talk about intermittent fasting. Well, the real truth of this is, I guess that's what I kind of did. I just won't call it that. And it wasn't really drastic fasting. All I've decided to do and all I did was I stopped snacking after dinner. In that, there's probably 10 pounds. So your first 10 pounds are going to come off. If you're a snacker after dinner, if you're used to watching Netflix and going on to things and eating a bowl of popcorn, or even worse, a bowl of chips, or because popcorn's actually not that bad. It's actually a go-to snack if I'm feeling it on my indulgence days. And we'll talk about indulgence days. But it is, if you are that person that will have a chocolate bar, have candies, gummies, things like that, have chips and things for your evening snack, cut those out. Cut those out. You're going to be hungry, but cut them out. It does actually fade. That hunger you're feeling from Monday to Friday, cut that out because it will fade. But I say Monday to Friday, don't I? That's because on the weekends, I call them indulgence days. They're not cheat days. You're not cheating on your diet. I have every intention of returning to my diet on Monday. And if I think it's a cheat day, if I have a mindset that it's a cheat day, I will be upset with myself for doing it. I will be upset with the whole process. And yes, could I be at 30 pounds now by not having indulgence days? You're damn right I could. But I don't want to, because I'll get that 5 pounds in the next 4 weeks. I'll get that 5 pounds in the next 6 weeks, whatever it is. The key is to make sure it's coming down. The key is the health. Not that I had a cheat day or an indulgence day. So first of all, get rid of the cheat day terminology, call it indulgence day. That's number one. Number two is make sure you have them. If you're a snacker and you're somebody who is going to look at this and go, God, Chris, I'm so used to the chips. I'm so used to whatever while I'm watching Netflix. You can just be rest assured that you can do that on Friday night. From Sunday to Thursday, don't do it. You can do that through your indulgence days. The other thing is, if you're somebody who enjoys a glass of wine, I know in some cultures you want it 1 or 2 a night. Some people are 4 and 5 a night. The bad news here is you do need to cut some of that, but don't cut all of it. On your indulgence days, have your wine, have it. But what I did was I took it out of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and Saturday, I'll allow myself wine. Oftentimes that's when we're hosting. That's when we have somebody over. That's when we go somewhere. It's Friday, Saturday. So clear those 2 days as your indulgence days and don't even think about it. Okay. The next thing that I did was added exercise. Now, I have no intention nor no desire to become ripped, to become bulky, to become, He-Man or anything like that. What I do desire is to be healthy. So that takes out a level of exercise right there. You do not need to go to the gym for 2.5 hours, 3 hours a day. You do need to do something every day, but you don't need to do the gym. So what I've done is I've set my target as an hour on my watch of good exercise, something where you're in the fat burning zone of your heart rate, or you're in the cardio zone, and then a little bit of resistance training. Most people who would talk to you on this will say, "Oh, you'll lose the most weight on resistance training," which is maybe faster that way, and may be true, but I want to be able to establish a cadence of health, establish something that I can do regularly beyond the weight loss. And I'll tell you, I'm not going to lift weights. I have no desire to that. If you do, great, use it. I have no desire to spend time doing that. What I do have a desire to do is to stay healthy. And so I'm doing things that I know I can maintain well into the future, ad infinitum, as they say, right? Something I can keep doing that I'll actually enjoy doing. So for me, it's the treadmill. We do have one of those iFit treadmills. I use the iFit program, and I mix it up. I do walks, I do hikes, I do the odd run. Not every time because I hate running, but I do some jogging because you do have to mix it up a little bit. You can't let yourself get into that. You can start with a rhythm, but then what's going to happen is you're going to plateau. I experienced that at about 20 pounds. Took me about 3 weeks to start losing again, and then got down 25. But the way that happens is because I was doing too many just hard hikes, but not adding any, slowdowns, not adding any running, not adding anything that would push my body to the next limit, which I think you really need to do. But it's easy. Just commit an hour, and commit an hour to something you enjoy. So, for example, the iFit, it's a great example. And I know people that have Pelotons say the same thing. You can go walking through Jamaica, you can hike, you can do whatever whatever else. The treadmill controls itself, the lift and everything else, or the incline and everything else is controlled for you. The speed, you just follow it, finish it, be done, and that's your workout for the day. And try to make sure that you're moving enough that if you're using an Apple Watch and you close that activity ring, that's important too. Make sure that gets closed. So for me, my activity ring is set at 1,000 calories in movement every single day, 1 hour of hardcore exercise every day, and then the 12 hours standing. I don't really pay attention to that ring much, but I do make sure it closes. When you do all of this, and as you've heard, it's not much. It's eat the things you want to eat, just within reason. So have a solid meal, but don't go back for seconds, thirds, and especially don't choose burgers every day. But doesn't have to be rabbit food every day either. It's an hour of exercise every day. It's continuously monitoring your health. This is the key. I don't weigh myself every week. I do from time to time. That's how I know that I've lost the weight. But so many people do it daily. So many people definitely don't do it daily because it can change daily. But so many people do it daily, every other day, once a week. I'm usually once every couple of weeks just to see where we're at. That's not my biggest goal. I want the weight to come down, but at the same time, and especially if you're doing exercise, you'll see some muscle mass build. And so because of that, you may not lose as fast as you thought, but you trust me, you're getting healthier. My big thing is to watch the trends on your Apple Watch. If you have another fitness device, that's fine. Watch those trends in those apps. Those are the big keys that I look for. And so for me, one of the biggest things, and we'll kind of get to the end here in a little bit, but was monitoring trends in calories burnt every week, not because of the number, but to make sure that it was trending higher than anywhere than I've ever had before. And then also, I look at other things like VO2. I look at, which is sort of that cardio, your sort of your heart health, right? Cardiovascular health. And if you've been using the Apple products, you do see that. You do get a chance to see that. And I've been monitoring that and watching my heart rate at rest. What's it doing, right? So if you look at what I'm going to show you on the screen right now, This is my trend. This is fact. This is what's happening. This is what I'm actually doing and enjoying it and still living my life and still having indulgence days. And you can see the proof is in the pudding. Look at your screen right now. This is the heart health. Okay, you can see that my cardio fitness level is still below average, but it was low before. And you can see on the graph that that is continuing to climb. We are getting closer and closer to the above average. Now, the way Apple measures it is low, below average, above average, and excellent. So obviously, you're not going to average. Somewhere in there is an average, but they don't call that out. They call it out once you go above average, which is fine. So I'm still in the below average area, but look at the graph. That's over January to now, what it's doing for my heart health. The other thing I want you to look at is my heart rate at rest, my resting heart rate. Look at how that has changed on this trend. Look at how much lower it has gone. And that is a great sign of better health. Okay. These two factors here are great signs that the health effort you're making, the health journey you're on is going well, right? And you can see the trends and how that's working. And then of course your weight as well. And you can look at that too and how that's been coming down. But again, I encourage you, it is so easy to do this. It is so easy to do this process. If you just commit to it, and that's the hard part. So if you added a little piece of hard here, it's going to be because you've got to commit to doing it. But it gets easier to commit to it every day because the more you pile up those days, look at my screen here, you can see the 3 rings closed for so many days in the last 3 months. The more those pile up, the more you're committed to it. So let them pile up for a few weeks, and I guarantee you're going to keep going. And then just challenge yourself, push it a little bit, but don't push it so far unless you're somebody who wants to change to a completely different body type, and you do want to get ripped and things like that. Then you got to really push hard. And I'm not telling you that is not the lesson here. For me, it's about getting healthier and staying healthy. I don't need to be ripped, but I do need to be healthy. I do need to be healthy for my family. So I'm doing things that I'm going to be able to lose that 40, 45 pounds and maintain it. And these will be maintenance things. You can reduce the number of times you do the workouts. I wouldn't do that. I just reduce the intensity once you've hit your level. Because again, if you reduce the amount of times, and you start to gain some weight back and then you get frustrated, you might never exercise again. And you don't want to get into that trend again. I was a couch potato. I do not want to be that again. So that's the journey. That's the journey that makes it easier. It can be easy. It can be. You just have to eat a little bit less, get rid of the snacking. If you do that, you're already off to a great start. You'll notice a difference, and you'll notice the difference right away. Cut the alcohol if you've got it, just to what your indulgence days are. Have indulgence days. Usually Friday and Saturday are the best, because then you're gonna, if you do have guests over, or you go out for dinner, you have date night, whatever it is, you're gonna get to still do that, and you don't have to worry about it. And I'm talking, even you can have some snacks. Maybe make better choices on the snacks, because I've still snacked on a Friday or Saturday, but I make a better choice, usually popcorn or something a little bit better than what I had been doing. So those types of things, you still want to make pretty good choices. The other thing I do sometimes, I don't want this podcast to drag on too long, but I want you to make sure you have all the information, is I'll eat better even on the indulgence days during the breakfast and lunch hours, and then have a more heavy dinner or something that I would rather have. So if we go out for dinner or something, I'm not going to worry about what's on that plate. It happens to be mashed potatoes, or loaded baked potato, whatever it is, I'm not going to worry about it. And you know what happens? You commit, and you achieve. No, the results are there. People can comment all they want in these comments and say, that process doesn't work, Chris, but I can tell you I'm living it. So it does work. I'm not doing anything drastic, right? Get your sleep, get your water in, get some exercise every day, ideally an hour. An hour seems to be working really well for me. A half hour didn't do enough. So just so you know, if you do decide to start with a half an hour and don't notice much progress, don't say, Chris, it's not working, because I've already tried the half hour thing. It's not enough. But trying to get to 1,000 calories of movement every day, and that's for me because I'm a heavier person. But if you're a lighter person already, you maybe don't need to burn that many For me, I do. But find that balance, find where that number is, figure out ways to measure it, and monitor your health. Monitor the trends. Are you peeing more? Are you doing different things in your eating? Are you seeing heart rate changes? Are you all of that stuff is more important than getting on the scale. It is so much more important because you see so much progress. Even if you're not seeing progress on the scale, you're seeing progress on your health overall. And that's the big key here. That's exactly what you need to be doing. So let's leave it there. If anybody has any questions, I'm always happy to answer. thisbakerlife@gmail.com. You can leave comments and I'll reply. If anybody's saying, I tried this or it didn't work or whatever, or I just need a little extra motivation, absolutely reach out to me. Very happy to help. I am so happy that this is working because then I can now bring it to you and say it does work and you don't need to cut all your calories. You don't have to name your first kid keto. You don't have to do anything like that. You just need some exercise. You need some healthier choices. You can still take your indulgence days and you will see progress. So good luck on your progress. I want to hear about it. Comment. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We got lots of shows like this. And also hit that little, the bell there to get the notifications when there's a new video. But thank you very much for watching This Baker Life. We'll be back again shortly.